Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man's Cool Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'll be reacting to my third and final scary story channel, and it's spooky vibes. And the video that I'll be reacting to is 3 true Dunkin Donuts horror stories. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag, shall we? Look it over. Here we go.
Some people are just crazy, and here's why. Back before I went to college, I worked part-time at Dunkin Donuts.
Okay.
It was an easy job for the most part, but anytime you work in the public, you know the crazies come out. So I was working the morning shift. We open at 4, and believe it or not, we usually have a good amount of cars outside waiting. Well, I'm there, managing the register, when this lady comes in. Off the bat, I could tell that she was a little off. She came in staring at the walls and kind of speaking to herself.
I know a lot of people don't like to work at places like this where you're like in the view of the public, but college kids got to take what they can get in order to pay off student debt. But it'd be kind of creepy just to see a woman walking in, mumbling to herself and staring at the walls. If I was there, I'd be like, hoping and praying she would order something and we give her the food and coffee that she wanted, and she leaves. But let's continue with the story, shall we?
She came up to the register and ordered a large espresso. I rang her out and then gave her coffee. She thanked me and then walked straight into our bathroom. Honestly, other than her being a bit off when she first walked in, she wasn't too bad. That was until we started hearing the noises. It sounded like clanking and things moving around after she went into the bathroom. I wanted to go in and check on the noise, but we started getting more customers, and I got too busy to. Literally a half hour goes by, and I had almost forgotten that she even went in there, when she suddenly bolts out of the bathroom and straight through the front doors. I go into the bathroom to see what she was doing, and I absolutely couldn't believe what I found.
What?
This lady had completely disassembled one of her toilets. Like, it was unbolted from the ground and taken apart.
Oh my goodness, I'd be wondering, why in the world is she doing that? At this point, call the cops, because that's considered vandalism.
I was so confused why the customer did this. That's when we had to get a plumber to come out and fix it. And you won't believe what they found. As the plumbers were trying to fix the pipes, they discovered something shoved deep inside of them. When they finally unclogged what it was, it turned out being a dead cat. And I hate to say this, but I think it was actually a kitten, because it was stuffed pretty deep inside the pipes. I almost threw up when I found out. We've given photos over to the police of her, and have made reports, but nothing has turned up yet. I have a feeling she was a local, and has a good chance of actually getting caught. But, like I said, people are crazy. I don't think I'll ever understand it.
Unbelievable. This person is right. Some people can go crazy and just delete innocent animals like cats and dogs for no reason at all. But to think that they actually disassemble a toilet just to stuff that kitten down it, I mean, that is just god-awful. But hopefully, since the police know what she looks like, they'll find her, because I'd be mad if she's still on the loose and not in no mental hospital where she needs to be. But I'm just glad that this worker is not physically hurt, even though something about a dead kitten in a toilet would make anybody want to vomit. So let's get to story number 2.
So, this lady and her daughter walk into my Dunkin Donuts. They both order their drinks, and then head over to one of the tables to sit down and drink it. It's starting to pick up inside, and we're taking more and more orders, when the mom comes up to me at my side of the counter, butting in front of everyone, and asks me a question. She cuts me off as I'm talking to one of the customers, and says, "My daughter spilled her drink on her new shoes. We demand a refund." I was so pissed off at her for cutting me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not their problem. They can't refund you because your daughter spilled or drank on her new shoes. And I wouldn't like it if somebody was cutting off other people just to say that while the employee is clearly trying to take somebody else's order. Talk about a person that don't want to be responsible for what their kid does and blame it on the restaurant chain store.
I almost lost my temper with her right then and there. I told her that we could make her a new cup of coffee for her daughter when the lady cut me off again. She told me she wasn't talking about a refund for the coffee. She demanded a refund for the shoes. She started going off on how it was my fault that her daughter's shoes are now coffee stained.
Are you kidding me? She ain't gonna give you no refund for the shoes. That's a coffee place, not a shoe store. This lady is really in denial. Not a Karen, but a messed up minded individual. Golly. I don't know what this person's thinking.
I couldn't believe this woman. She demanded to see my manager, and after he heard both sides of it, my manager had to inform her that we would replace the cost of the drink, but not the shoes. The lady grabbed her daughter by the hand and then screamed at the whole Dunkin Donuts that we were a bunch of thieves and crooks. And believe me, I wish the story ended there. Well, a few hours go by after that incident, and it was time for me to go take my lunch. I was gonna head home real quick, heat up some pasta, and then head back to work. But as I walked to my car, which was in the back part of the parking lot, I stopped dead in my tracks. I could see, even from my distance, that my front car windows had been smashed in. I sprinted over and saw there was a note attached to one of the bricks that was smashed into my window. The note said, "You won't pay my daughter's shoes, then I'm not paying for your windows."
Oh, you sick, twisted SOB of a woman. I cannot believe that someone would actually go that far and to smash a worker's vehicle over a pair of shoes that were stained by her own daughter. That just really makes me mad. That tells you right there, she must have been grown up spoiled and just likes to make people tremble over their mistakes, it seems like.
I literally wanted to cry. I showed my manager, and everyone came out to see the damage. I had to call the police and make a report. I had to do that, and I'm out $700 for a new window. And the cops haven't even caught her yet, so she's still out there. I've had my fair share of crazies at Dunkin Donuts, but she takes the top spot.
Oh God, I hope the police do catch her, because that ain't right that she will smash an employee's window in her car and say they're not going to pay for it over a stinking spilled coffee stain on her daughter's shoes. That don't make no sense whatsoever. But I'll be making sure that she's not only banned from this Dunkin' Donuts, but all of them. And also tell her to go seek mental therapy or something, because that's just messed up. Man, that just makes me pissed. Now, I can see it at like a restaurant where you sit down and somebody accidentally spills something on your shoes or clothes, and they can take some money off of your bill. But they wouldn't do that at no place like Dunkin' Donuts. Let's get on to story number 3 before I keep rambling on about this one.
This story happened a while ago, when I was like 19 and working for Dunkin Donuts. I always used to work the night shifts. Our location was hit or miss sometimes. Our location is pretty isolated and back by some woods that's just off the main road. Well, the night that I was working, we were dead. There was no customers in the parking lot, and the last one that we had in was maybe a half hour prior. Well, I'm just behind the register, looking at my phone, and I hear the door open. I looked up and saw this man walk in. He reminded me of someone who had just finished up from the gym. He had on this gray sweatshirt and gray baggy sweatpants. I noticed immediately that he was dripping with sweat, like he looked like he had just run 5 miles. Then he saw me and gave me this really weird look. He was looking at me as if I was going to harm him or something. Even though he was extremely off, I didn't want to be rude and asked him how I could help him. That's when he started searching his whole body. He started dancing around and itching himself as if there was hundreds of fire ants crawling all on him. He started making these weird noises, and that's when I called for my manager to get up here because I did not know how to handle this situation at all. My manager stands next to me, and that's when the dude starts grabbing at the inside of his pants. For the briefest second, I could see that there was a gun in one of the pockets. And just as I realized this, the man full-on sprinted out of the store. Once I saw him dart into the woods, I ran to the front door and locked it. I told my manager I saw that he had a gun and to stay away from the windows. As me and my manager started to discuss what just happened, we heard this loud bang in the night. It sounded like a single gunshot going off. We didn't know if it came from that crazy guy or not.
I guarantee you it did. He must be completely out of his mind, almost like he was running away from something. That's why he was so sweaty. And he keeps on imagining that he's covered by some insects. That's why he's scratching himself. But if you hear a single gunshot, I guarantee you he probably ended his life. I don't know, but I'll be calling the cops to go out there and investigate that. I wouldn't go out there just to check.
But we had no intentions of going outside to find out. After we heard the bang, we literally closed down early and left. And here's the crazy part. The next day, I read on social media a man in our area shooting himself by the lake that was right behind our Dunkin Donuts. The post had a picture of the man, and it was the same guy who came into our Dunkin Donuts freaking out the night before. The article said it was a gunshot-inflicted wound, and as sad as it is to say, I'm glad that it was only his life affected and nobody else's. I don't know what he was going through, because it almost seemed as if he was seeing something that wasn't there when he came into our Dunkin' that night. I no longer work there, and never will again in my life.
Hey, believe me, I don't blame you. He must have been going through a lot mentally. Couldn't find no help, so he decided to end his own life, which is sad to hear. You know, like this person said, he didn't harm nobody else. That's just crazy. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more spooky vibes related content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Squad channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and I said that's a wrap. Have a nice day, y'all.